Just a normal day here at Wrigley Field as Cubs manager Joe Maddon decided to import some exotic animals from the Columbus, Ohio Zoo. And we're set for Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet. Tonight, the Cubs will play host to the Milwaukee Brewers, Game 2 of a 3-game set. Great to have you with us, Jim DeShays and Len Casper. The Cubs' magic number is 4 to clinch a playoff spot, and they have Jake Arrieta going for win number 20 tonight.
Yeah, speaking of wild animals, he has been in absolute beast mode for a good long while now as he pursues his 20th win here tonight. Since June 21st, he's made 17 starts. They've all been quality. That ties a franchise record, 13-1 with a 101 in that stretch. His last 4 starts, beginning with his no-hitter against the Dodgers, he has an 0.55 earned run average.
Right-hander Tyler Cravey will go for the Brewers. It is a bullpen night. He is not expected to go very deep into this game, and the Cubs look for their 9th straight win over the Brewers in this season series. Second attempt for Jake at win number 20. The Cubs hosting the Brewers coming up next.
Your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Back here at the ballpark, and the lights are on as we are at dusk here in Chicago, and the Cubs take the field behind that man right there, Jake Arrieta. He goes for his 20th win. Only 19-game winner right now in the major leagues. And he will face this Milwaukee Brewers Southwest starting lineup, pretty much the same as we saw last night for Game 1. Scooter Gennett, Logan Schaefer, each with hits in the first inning off Jason Hamill last night. Adam Lynn hit a game-tying home run, his 20th of the year. All of them have been against righties. Chris Davis homered late. Domingo Santana, pretty impressive-looking young outfielder they got from the Astros. Gene Segura's at short. Hernan Perez at third. Martin Maldonado continues to catch for Jonathan Lucroy, and Tyler Cravey, the pitcher, will hit ninth.
Cubs defensively are aligned thusly. Schwarber, Fowler, Coughlin, left, center, right. Javi Baez gets a start at short tonight. He's joined on the left side of the infield by Chris Bryant. Second and first belong to Castro and Rizzo. Miguel Montero will do the catching, and the Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is the big right-hander, Jake Arrieta. Just a brilliant season, 30th 31st start. 19 up, 6 down, a 1.96 ERA. Lifetime 2-3 with a 3.19 against the Brewers. This is his third start against them this year.
Set the umpires for you. Toby Basner will work home plate. Paul Nauert is at first. The crew chief Dana DeMuth at second, and Mike Estabrook over at third. Slight breeze coming off the lake. Another gorgeous evening.
Yeah, boy, just a perfect night to play. Jake's last 4 start, he's got 9 no-hit, 8 scoreless, 8 one-run, 8 1-earned run. It was a no decision last time out at at Pittsburgh. Throwing error by Jake cost him. Otherwise, he probably would have had his 20th win. Had to settle for a no decision and a 3-2 Cub win. They won that ball game in 12 innings.
Here we go. Sinker at 96. We've said this many times. A lot of starting pitchers, guys who throw hard, it takes them a bit to get their velocity. But Jake Arrieta, he comes out firing bullets from pitch 1, and that ball hit the other way. And Jeanette, as it gets away from Schwarber, and it'll be a double for Jeanette.
Yeah, Jeanette was thrown out at third base last night trying to advance all the way from first on a wild pitch. Was caught there in a very close play. This time a little more cautious approach. He took a look at going to third base, but he settled in at second. So a leadoff double hole for Jeanette here as they look to get to Arrieta early. Mid-90s fastball up in the zone a little bit. Punched the other way by Scooter Jeanette. Arrieta. Plus stuff across the board. A changeup that's improving, and he's been using it a little bit more in recent starts to go along with that nasty curveball and lane-changing slider.
Low on Logan Schaefer. So Jeanette and Schaefer with back-to-back singles off Jason Hamill to start the series. And both would eventually come around to score. Cubs would come back and win game 1, 9-5 the final. Now straight back.
Cubs playing outstanding ball for a good stretch now, and really good here in their home ballpark. They've won 19 of their last 24 at Wrigley. Meanwhile, the Brewers have dropped 9 out of 10. It's the Brewers struggling. Their pitching's been bad. They're banged up. Some of their mainstays not in the lineup tonight. You got Arrieta going out there, who's been one of the best pitchers in all of baseball all year long. Their guy has a 6-something ERA. It's one of those games that looks like it'd be worth a pretty hefty wager.
But we could give you
condone that.
Numerous examples this year of not playing out how exactly you thought it would. As Schaefer grounds out to Rizzo. Jeanette's at third with 1 out.
If this were a Civil War movie, General Counsel would have ridden over on his horse over to General Madden last night in the negotiated surrender terms.
Here's Adam Lind in his 20th home run last night. Red hot as of late. 375 over his last 22 games. Infield in. Is that it for the Civil War references? Or?
Oh, who knows?
Okay.
I just got
go back to the Revolutionary next time.
I'm chuckling at General Counsel.
One strike on Lind.
I think Jake's beard too lends itself to a Civil War reference. Stonewall Arrieta.
So here's the deal. It's Tuesday night. He starts tonight. He's going to start Sunday night against the Pirates. He'll start a week from Friday in Milwaukee. And that will line him up for Wednesday, October 7th, in what appears to be the Cubs' first playoff game, the wild card game, most likely against the Pirates. Things can change in terms of the Cubs' playoff position and all of that, but that's the most likely situation, and he is right on schedule to make that first start in the postseason. Cubs are not there yet. Their magic number's 4. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, 9.5 games better than both the Giants and the Nationals. His play begins here tonight.
Well, 12 games to go. What that means, the magic number is if the Cubs go 4-8, and those other teams win every game they play, the Cubs are still in. Outside that time. And the count is even at 2-2.
Yeah, so 6 games behind the Cardinals for first place in the division. That's possible, but not likely. The bigger question is, where will that wild card game take place? Cubs too behind the Pirates in that regard, and a big weekend series with Pittsburgh coming up beginning Friday.
Swing and a miss. He got him on a curve. For out number 2, he needed to miss a bat, and he did.
That is so much fun to watch pitch because he has so many weapons and he knows what to do in a certain situation. If he's looking for a ground ball, he's got the weapons to make that happen. He's got swing and miss stuff for sure. That's his 210th strikeout on the year.
Infield back with 2 outs, and it's Chris Davis. He homered off Tommy Hunter in the 8th last night. And a foul strike.
Yeah, so I gave you all the reasons why the Cubs should win this game. Well, here's how they lose the game. Make a mistake to a guy like Davis, and he pops one out of here, and all of a sudden they have a 2-run lead. And we've seen how effective the Cubs bullpen games have been when you're facing different looks throughout the game. You know, that could be in play tonight as Cravey makes a start. He's probably not going to pitch very many innings here. So, you know, again, you got to go out and play the game.
In the air, but playable for Fowler. That will end the inning. So Arrieta works around the leadoff double. The Cubs are coming up when we return. Donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois. Here's the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Brought to you by Southwest. Starts with Dexter Fowler. Kyle Schwarber will bat second and play left. Chris Bryant, red hot. A lot of guys in this lineup are. Anthony Rizzo's got a 7-game hitting streak. Starlin Castro hitting about .420 over his last month. Chris Coughlin will play right tonight. He'll hit 6th ahead of Miguel Montero. Javier Baez plays short, bats 8th, and the pitcher will hit 9th. We've seen that more often here lately.
Check in on the Brewers defensively. You're going to find Davis, Schaefer, and Santana in the outfield. Infield of Perez, Segura, Jeanette, and Lind. And Martin Maldonado is behind the plate. And Alexis starting pitcher is the rookie Tyler Cravey.
6'2", 210, 26 years old. Ball one on Fowler.
0-7 with a 6.42 ERA. He's made 5 starts plus 6 relief appearances. As a starter, he's 0-5 with a 6.84. One of those starts came here back on August 13th. Gave up a couple home runs in that ball game. Was charged with 4 runs and 4 1/3. Cubs went on to win 9-2.
Fowler got him. 2-run homer in the 5th. Schwarber, the next batter, went deep, and that chased Cravey out of the game. Still 2-2 on Dexter. This is Jimmy Nelson's day to pitch, but he is done for the year after suffering a head injury in his last start. Full count, 3-2.
Given where the Brewers are in the standings, and they're just playing out the string, and this will provide innings for other guys, and no sense pushing Nelson.
Line drive, base hit. Fowler's aboard.
I mean, Nelson was prepared to pitch. The Brewers wanted him to pitch. I think there's always concern when a guy gets hit in the head the way Nelson did about how that's going to affect his psyche going forward. So you'd rather get him out there sooner so you can move on. But the neurologist suggested, to shut him down. And the doc says shut him down. You're going to shut him down.
Yeah, no concussion, no fractures, but obviously major head trauma, and had a tiny brain bruise, so they just decided no reason to push it. Here is Schwarber. Hit the ball hard a couple of times last night, but just 2 for his last 29. This is hard to watch. Off the bat of Tommy Pham, everybody in the ballpark forgot about baseball. And Jimmy Nelson, very fortunate it was not more serious than it was.
Yeah, talented kid. They've got some good young arms over there, and that's going to be part of the equation, the formula for the Brewers going forward with Counsell and their new GM.
High on a fastball, 1-1 the count. 70 degrees, southeast wind at 5, so cross breeze from right to left.
Gravy 4-pitch mix. Fastball, slider, curve, and change.
On the ground, Jeanette, Segura, and Lind, and that is a double play. 4-6-3. Good dig by Lind to complete it.
A little hop there by Fowler. Had to make sure he didn't get hit by that ground ball. May have cost him a little time, so he wasn't able to upend Segura there on the turn.
The base is empty, 2 outs, and it's Chris Bryant. 3 hits, 2 runs last night. This is one of those deals where we probably don't mention it, we don't look at it. Fowler, he's trying to break up a double play, and you see Segura jumps over him. That play happens all the time, but we only talk about it when some guy gets run over.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And shortstops, you know, we saw the play with Dung in Pittsburgh when he hurt his knee and he's done for the year. Shortstops almost never get hit because they can see the runner, they see the play develop. Second baseman, you know, a lot of times they have their back to the base runner and they're a little bit more in harm's way.
Call strike 3. Bryant is gone, and the Cubs are done in the first. No score. Domingo Santana will lead off the Milwaukee second. Came over from the Astros in the Carlos Gomez-Mike Fiers deal. I suppose for a while it was the Carlos Gomez deal, and then Mike Fiers threw a no-hitter. You've got to include him. And there was no disrespect to Fiers, but Gomez was kind of the centerpiece.
The big piece, yeah, sure,
of that deal.
Yeah.
Arrieta's 1-1.
We saw it from Santana last night. He has difficulty with the breaking ball. Strong kid, very raw. He runs into it, he can hit it a long way.
Out of his zone a bit on the slider, couldn't get it.
Kind of got that Pedro Serrano thing going on. Tomorrow night the Cubs take on the Brewers. First pitch is at 7:05. All Budweiser bleacher fans 21 and over will receive a reusable tote bag presented by Ornitos. Tickets are still available, so visit Cubs.com. Do it now.
Gene Segura 1 for 4 in the opener last night. He sends one in the air to Chris Coghlan. The third baseman Hernan Perez. The Brewers today brought up 6 guys from their Double-A club, the Biloxi Shuckers. And they were a very interesting story here in 2015. That is the minor league club from the Southern League that had to play basically 2 full months on the road because of ballpark delays. It was 54 games in 58 days. That's a long road trip. And they ended up getting all the way to the League Championship Series and lost in the decisive Game 5 last night in Chattanooga.
Shuckers have always been a good road club. long-standing thing in the Southern League. You do not want to deal with the Shuckers on the road.
So 4 pitchers, an infielder, and an outfielder, all available off their bench tonight. Have you ever heard of a one-day call-up of 6 Double-A players?
It's quite an infusion.
Especially on September 22nd, 3 weeks after the rosters expanded. And I guess they weren't going to call everybody up, but because of the Elian Herrera injury, we mentioned Jimmy Nelson, they had a shortage of players.
And so, what, 4 pitchers and 2 position players,
yep.
right, into 6?
It's hard to believe you'd be short in September, but it happened because of the injuries. It's the Nelson one we just saw earlier. Chris Davis, unfortunately for them, is okay, but he's been dealing with a tender ankle. And this one, nasty collision in the outfield. And as Paris strikes out, that will end the inning as he works a 1-2-3 second. This is Joe Madden to a T. There was a note in the clubhouse after the game last night. It said 3 o'clock, bring your family, bring your kids to the ballpark. That was for all the players. Didn't say why. They showed up in a zoo in the corner of the outfield. About a half a dozen exotic animals from the zoo in Columbus, Ohio, including a pink flamingo.
I'm a big pink flamingo fan. That's why I really insisted on that. Back in California, we have 2 in the front window. I'd love to take one home and have them coexist with our Winston and Clementine if that were possible. But I think one of the coolest things out there, and my goal in life was to eventually own a bar named the Pink Flamingo. So if that ever happens, I've made it.
That lap on the right belongs to Patrick Mooney. I guess he never sits in that chair. He just happened to today. And looked a little nervous around the flamingo.
They're a devious animal. You got to be careful around the flamingo. So Joe's goal in life is to own a bar called the Pink Flamingo.
Like it. Keeping it fun, keeping it light, and keeping it a bit unpredictable. That's the way Joe operates. Hard to argue with it. Two strikes on Rizzo. One and two. Anthony's hit in 7 in a row. He had a perfect night last night. 3 for 3, a double, 2 walks, scored 3 times. chased one in the dirt for strike 3.
Pretty good action there on that split finger offering from Cravey. Last night, Willie Peralta was the pitcher for the Brewers, starting pitcher, and he was never really able to establish his secondary pitches. And the fastball command was suspect as well, so Cubs got to him, and they added on against the Brewer bullpen.
What a homestand for Castro. 8 for 10, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 9 RBIs. He's added a walk and a hit by pitch.
.444 over the last 2 weeks with some power too.
In the air, left field, that could drop, and it will. He'll make the turn. He's going to try. No, he's not. He's going to stop halfway and hit back to first.
It was good to have a little good fortune too. He had one of those last night. Soft little flare to shallow right that dropped in. This time will pop up to left. Davis not able to run it down. Yeah, spent a little too much time looking and not enough time running, and it might have cost him. You lose the chance of that double with that slow break out of the box.
Chris Coghlan hit 9th last night. He's batting 6th tonight.
League is batting .309 against Tyler Cravey. Lefties .303. Right-handed batters .314. '17th round pick of the Brewers back in 2009. Another good changeup.
Went to Napa Valley College. Also Diablo Valley College. From Vallejo, California. That's the northern part of the state. Two and one. And a big crowd here tonight. Another night game tomorrow. Cubs are off Thursday. Pirates come in for 3 over the weekend, and then the Kansas City Royals a makeup game next Monday night. Off the outside corner, 3-1. And it's hard to believe, but after Monday night, there is no guarantee of another game in this ballpark. But the Cubs could, as we said earlier, pass the Pirates and host a wild card. Or if they have to go on the road, they could win that. And at least a couple of games here. They could play into deep October. We don't know yet. 2 on for Montero. Yeah. You got to just kind of go with the flow.
Get your magic 8 ball out and shake it. Will the Cubs win the World Series?
Montero bats with 2 on and 1 out. Castro, bottom right of your screen, at second. Coglin's at first. And a swing and a miss.
They ambushed that heater, and he knows he had a pitch to hit. And he's casting that look towards the dugout. I got the sense he told somebody, I'm going to jump on this guy, do some damage on that first pitch.
Well, remember, he jumped on Michael Blazek in the 10th inning against the Brewers on August 12th. We were out in the patio and right, and he got a bullet into the bleachers and left to give the Cubs a 3-2 win. Santana's got it. Runners have to hold.
Well, another good change up there from Cravey. Got Montero out on his front foot. So obviously the number's not good for Cravey. Changeup's a good looking pitch. We've seen the fastball at 93 miles an hour. Slow, steady progress throughout their minor league system. 35 and 29 as a minor leaguer with a 373. 09 through this year. Pitched at every level in the Brewers organization.
One 1-0 on Javi Baez, playing short for Addison Russell. Pinch hit double in game 1. See that closed stance, pretty close to the plate. And he was able to hold 2-0. Paul Nowert with the call at first. Baez has made starts this month, second, third, and short. Ground toward the hole, backhanded play. Segura to throw to first in time, just getting Baez to end the inning. And Joe might want to take one look at the video. He will not challenge, so that will end the inning. And at least through 2, it's been all Cravey tonight for the Brewers. Right, Warren? Throughout the years. Tonight on Sportsnet Central, get to know longtime organist Gary Pressey as he approaches his 3,000th consecutive game played. It's all part of the Hunt for October, presented by Feldco tonight after the game on Sportsnet Central. One of our favorites, Gary Pressey.
He's the Cal Ripken Jr. of organists.
Check swing bouncer. Maldonado didn't run, and Marietta will flip to Rizzo.
If Rizzo leads the league in putouts this year by 1.
We can thank Jake.
And you see Gary, not only is he durable, he's clever. He just played, he could have danced all night. That little action down there with Arrieta and Maldonado.
Another one where a guy didn't run, and Arrieta, I think, tried to get it before it went foul. A lot of watching going on tonight. A lot of video. Guys can watch their bats whenever they want, but for whatever reason, on a few occasions.
He's playing walk the line.
Yeah. He swings and misses. Ball in the dirt. 4 strikeouts for Arrieta.
Yeah, he gave up that leadoff double to Scooter Gennett, but looks like Arrieta on his way to another powerful performance here tonight.
Scooter Gennett wanted to make sure his starting pitcher was back in the dugout before heading up to the plate. You know, the way it's gone for Milwaukee, last place, fired their manager after a month. They just hired a new general manager. If we go back a year ago, they led this division for much of the season. Everything kind of fell apart right around the beginning of September. Yeah, they had the best record in the National League at the end of June last year.
Really went downhill in the second half, off to a horrific start this year. That cost Ron Renicky his job. And then they decided to reset. Made some pretty aggressive moves at the trade deadline. Got a new manager, got a new GM, as you saw. David Stearns on board. 30-year-old Harvard man, former assistant GM with the Astros.
Yeah, it's not the NBA commissioner. He's got an A in his last name and an extra S. He fires a strike to Rizzo. It actually helped, I think, that he dropped it. Remember, he airmailed one the other night in his last start.
Cubs and the Pirates will play, and the first pitch will be delivered at 12:05. First 10,000 fans here at the ballpark will receive a Chris Bryant debut bobblehead presented by TransUnion. For more information, visit Cubs.com.
There was a perfect game going on in Detroit. White Sox and Tigers. That is now over. There's been a hit batter. Daniel Norris started. He went 5. Buck Farmer went 1. Ian Cole in the game as Jake Arrieta sends one out into deep left center, and it's caught by Davis. Jake with a double, a triple, and a homer this year. Sounded good off the bat. 1 away. broke his bat.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. It's off the end of the bat a little bit, but how many pitchers do you see that are strong enough to break their bat like that and have the ball carry as far as it did? The answer, very few.
No. I thought that ball had a chance when I heard it. And now we know why it fell very short. Just getting a laugh in the dugout. Fowler singled in the first. One of 2 Cubs hits so far off Cravey.
I've been searching furiously on Baseball Reference to see if there was a catcher with the nickname of Biscuits, and I couldn't find one.
Biscuits and Cravey.
Yeah. We had Goforth and Prosper last night.
Right. Somebody tweeted if there were a young kid behind the plate, it could have been Goforth and Prospect. Close. 1-2 on Dexter Fowler.
Well, now that Mike Leake has been traded, the Reds alumni game could have Mike Leake being caught by Bill Plummer.
Make sure he throws a sinker. As Fowler strikes out.
Plummer out to the mound to see if he can fix Leake. Despite the high ERA, Cravey pitching a competitive game here so far tonight. Had some traffic, but nobody's crossed home plate.
Schwarber hit into a double play his first time up. The good news is he can't do it this time.
Burley Grimes, old-time pitcher. He once accounted for 7 outs in 3 plate appearances, 2 double plays, and a triple play.
Well, I'm going to make it out.
Yeah.
Might as well make 7.
Tremendous rhythmic clapping right there, ladies.
Is the strikeout or the double play or the out cycle, I should say, is that a 1-out double play, triple play all in one game? That's it, right?
Yeah.
Can't have 4. Only have 3.
I wish I can remember who it was, but saw a guy a few years back pop up for the cycle. 4 at bats, he popped up to third, short, second, and first. That's a weak day at the plate.
The 3-1 missing for ball 4, and for the Cubs offense, that is their major league leading 527th walk accepted.
Yeah, it's hard not to be impressed by the approach of Kyle Schwarber. Even going through this stretch where he's not getting a lot of hits, he continues to show discipline. You know, he's there in a 3-1 count. He's a guy with all kinds of power, and you know he's not chasing, even though he's scuffling a little bit.
Chuck that 528. Coughlin walked in the second. So here's Bryant in the pitch. Driven in the air, deep left center. Davis on the track. He can only watch it go. A 2-run homer. Chris Bryant with number 26, a new Cubs single-season rookie record. RBIs 96 and 97.
On base, plus slugging. Schwarber works the 2-out walk. Bryant delivers the long ball. Fastball meant to be away. Drifts down and in a little bit. Bye-bye. It's your Ford home run replay.
Chris now has the rookie RBI mark and the home run record for the Cubs.
I'm just announcing that here on the big board and the curtain call.
Billy Williams had the old record, 1961. He hit 25 in his Rookie of the Year campaign, and Chris should be well on his way to winning the National League Rookie of the Year this year. Two-run homer, and it's 2-0 Cubs after 3.
Photo, use hashtag Northside DataStrong Fan, and you just might see yourself later in the game. Brought to you by T-Mobile.
So Jake Arrieta's got his 2 runs. He has sent down 9 in a row since the Jeanette leadoff double. Logan Schaefer takes ball 1 too high. Strike. So the perfect game is gone, but the Tigers still with a combined no-hitter as they go to the bottom of the 7th, scoreless. Swing and a miss on a changeup. It's 1-2 on Schaefer.
Pitch he's been using a little bit more lately. I was talking with David Ross earlier today about Arrieta's changeup, and he said, yeah, that's the thing. You know, Jake is still probably his 4th best pitch, but it's still an above average changeup.
Hands that time, fought off foul.
So despite all the success, he continues to evolve.
Strike 3. Got him on a fastball inside edge.
Number 5. 0-2-seamer. Schaefer thinks it's going to continue to run inside. Schaefer was wrong, and he's out.
And we start to kind of take for granted. In his 10 in a row, he's retired. But he seems to do this a lot.
Oh yeah, man. He just once he gets on a roll, it's like hang with him.
And then once he gets on a roll bit, usually happens about every 5 days.
Yeah.
At some point. Sliders hit on a hop to Rizzo. 2 outs.
He and Rizzo are accounting for all the outs here, just about. Neat ground balls in the infield, strikeouts. There's been a couple outfield outs. But other than that, it's pretty much been Arrieta and Rizzo. And, you know, it's obviously more consistent this year than last, but he's basically the same guy. I mean, aside from a couple of starts, and I did the math, he had a disastrous start last year in Colorado, gave up 9 runs in 5 innings. And he had one in Cincinnati where he allowed 6 runs in 4 innings. You throw those 2 starts out, and he had a 1.76 ERA last year.
Yep.
Throughout the Colorado game only, 2.07. So it's not like this came out of nowhere.
Several no-hit bids into the late innings. I think the biggest question after last year was just could he repeat it. Not only did he do that, he got better.
Yeah, well, and you know, there was enough, you know, made what 25 starts last year. He was a little tender early, so he didn't start on time. But you do what he did over 25 starts. There's nothing fluky about it. He established himself, firmly established himself as one of the best pitchers in the National League last year. And now he's just climbed a little higher up that mountain. And the question is, will he be number 1? Will he win that Cy Young Award this year? Greinke's not blinking. If you look at some of the advanced metrics, Clayton Kershaw, like wins above replacement, fielding independent pitching, I believe Kershaw ranks first in both of those.
2-2 to Davis. Pretty well to right, but Coughlin is back on it. Cole Harm, another 1-2-3 for Arrieta. He has retired 12 in a row since the first inning double by Jeanette.
Nothing. Right now is a great time to plan for your 2016 Cubs spring training experience at beautiful Sloan Park. Go to Cubs.com/Mesa to place a deposit on season tickets and secure the best seats available. Individual spring training tickets will go on sale in January. So be sure to visit Cubs.com/Mesa. There you will find the latest updates.
2-0. The Cubs have the lead on a Chris Bryant home run, and they'll try to add on here. Great look at the board out of the left. Castro with a bloop single to left his first time up. He'll be followed by Coughlin and Montero, and ball one. I'd like to occasionally give you an on this date. It was on this date, September 22nd, 1965. The Braves played their final home game in Milwaukee before moving to Atlanta in 1966. Nice piece by Tom Haudricourt of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel online today about that night. Braves knocked around Sandy Koufax in that particular game. It was 50 years ago tonight. The Braves essentially said farewell to Milwaukee. They had, I think, 10 road games left after that night. It was their last game at County Stadium. Braves were there from 53 to 65 and never had a losing season. How does that pertain to the Brewers? Well, Bud Selig, that was kind of the night, I think, that galvanized everything for him. He eventually bought the Seattle Pilots, moved him to Milwaukee, and it also, JD, set up the history that allowed the Brewers to move to the National League because of Milwaukee's National League history.
Yeah, Seattle Pilots lasted 1 year out in Seattle, but brought the club to Milwaukee. Yeah, this team, a long-time American League club.
Moved to the NL in 1998. I can't imagine too many Brewer fans today who are upset about being in the National League, although as Castro lines out to Jeanette, if you're David Stearns and you're trying to figure out how to kind of rebuild this thing, you are looking at the Cubs and the Pirates and the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So it's not the ideal division to be in, I suppose. Jonathan Barrios, the kids they brought up from AA, Biloxi.
His head's probably spinning right now. AA one day and warming up at Wrigley Field the next.
Strike one on Coughlin. One and one. Pirates won last night. They're in Colorado for game 2 tonight. Their magic number for clinching a playoff spot is 2. They have a 1-0 lead in the second. Jay Happ against Chris Russin. Matchup of lefties. Cardinals down 1-0 in the bottom of the third to the Reds. Kivas Sampson, John Lackey. Full count, 3-2.
Cravey had 55 pitches. His last start was on August 18th against Miami. He went 2 2/3, allowed 7 runs.
DL time right after that start. Right elbow impingement. Came back on the 5th of this month as Coughlin flies to Davis.
First start was his best back on June 2nd against the Cardinals. He went 7 innings, allowed just 1 run. Took a 1-0 loss.
1-1 on Montero. Swing and a miss on that split change. Whatever it is, it's been a good pitch for him. And yeah, it does look like a splitter. We saw a shot of the grip earlier. Comebacker off Cravey. Looks like he's all right as Segura makes the play. And that will end the inning. We had some exotic animals earlier we showed you from Ohio. This is just a dog in the area. We're nice. It's all good. We come in peace. 2-0. Turn to CSN Chicago for the best game day coverage in town. Starting at 2 p.m. Join host Chris Bowden and former Bears Lance Briggs, Jim Miller, Dan Jiggets for Bears pregame live presented by Meyer. Then after the game, flip back to CSN for player and coach reaction on Bears postgame live presented by Nissan. It all starts Sunday at 2 on CSN Chicago. Strike called on Santana, 5th inning. Cubs lead 2-0. Chris Bryant with his 26th home run got a curtain call, setting the new rookie record.
Saw Billy Williams here earlier during batting practice. Get a visit from Billy after the ball game. Santana strikeout victim first time, waving at a couple of breaking balls. Fouled off the fastball. He's probably going to get something spinning here.
Rizzo will scoop and take it to the bag. How many times have we said that tonight?
1, 2, 3 unassisted ground balls to Rizzo. A couple of comebackers to Arrieta. Cubs single season ERA leaders since 1920, which is a post dead ball era. Grover Cleveland Alexander fashioned a 191 that year, and nobody's been better than Arrieta. Lon Warneke with a 2 in 1933. It is his 17 consecutive quality start stretch that Arrieta has matched and looking to surpass here tonight.
ERA in the second half below 1. Segura on the ground to Castro. 2 outs. Looks like Barry Zito and Tim Hudson will match up on Saturday. He's in the Giants. He'll be in Oakland. There's Kyle Loesch.
They should bring Miguel Tejada back and play in that ball game.
Maybe Brad Pitt will show up. Scott Hatteberg.
Yeah.
Although in the Moneyball movie, I don't know if the 3 pitchers were mentioned at all, were they?
I don't recall.
No. Toward the hole. Sliding stop by Astro first. The stretch by Rizzo. He apparently came off the bag, or did Perez just beat it? He was called safe by Paul Nauert. Good effort on both ends. And that is an infield hit. It snaps a stretch of 14 in a row.
Some sparkling shortstop play from Addison Russell. Javi Baez gets his turn, makes a beautiful play, and I didn't see Paul Nauert indicate that Anthony was off the base, but that had to be the call because the throw beat him. I don't know that Perez ever hit the base.
I thought his hand maybe just grazed it. I could be wrong.
Must have, but that first look we had at it, you know, looked like he got nothing but air, and yeah, he got the corner. That's a great shot right there. Both guys laying out.
Arrieta's ERA down to 191 through 4 2/3.
Oh my goodness! Like a hummingbird. There and gone.
One and one on Maldonado. Two and one.
Usually when a pitcher's having a run like Arrieta, pitching so well deep into games, usually he catches up to a guy where he goes out there and he might not have his good stuff and he has to really battle. That has not been the case. He has been crisp each and every time he has gone out there.
That last pitch was a no pitch. Time had been called. I'm just amazed at how he never looks like he's out of breath. Ever. One and two. We've joked about the no-hitter in LA, but I mean, didn't he look like he could have gone 12 innings if needed? Runner goes. Ball bounced to Baez. He knows he's got time with Maldonado running, and he gets him. Bottom 5. It's 2-0 Cubs behind Jake Arrieta going for win number 20.
Alumni at the 2016 Cubs convention. It will take place January 15th through the 17th at the Sheraton Chicago Hotel and Towers. Hotel packages and weekend passes are on sale now. Visit Cubs.com/convention to get your passes before they sell out.
Veteran right-hander Kyle Loesch is on, working to Javier Baez. And Yadiel Rivera making his major league debut. He's in to play third as part of a double switch. Rough year for Loesch. He was their opening day starter, working out of the bullpen.
Loesch in year 3 of a 3-year deal with the Brewers. Timing not good in your walk year to struggle the way he has. He's had a very nice career.
Rivera right into the mix as he makes the catch to retire Baez. The last start Loesch made was against the Cubs. A 4-3 Cubs win in Milwaukee on August 2nd.
Always seems to find the new guy.
Here's Arrieta. Broken bat fly to fairly deep left on his first at bat. It's a slider.
Loesch more effective as a reliever. He's pitched to a 4.22 ERA out of the bullpen at a 6.31 as a starter.
Arrieta strikes out.
Tiger no-hitter alive through 8 combined no-hitter. Yesterday Jeff Samardzija threw a 1-hitter at them.
One and one to Fowler. Well, Tyler Cravey, I think, gave Craig Counsell what he wanted. He got 4 innings out of him. Did give up the 2-run homer, but wasn't that bad.
No, he's showed pretty well here tonight. I'm sure if you'd asked Counsell before the game if he would take 4 innings of 2-run baseball from his starter tonight, he would say, yep, done deal. Don't need to peek behind the curtain.
Schwarber would hit next. Here comes Schwarber after the 2-out walk.
A 2-out walk to Schwarber. That set up Bryant for the go-ahead home run.
Schwarber sends one up in the air. 4 Brewers out there, actually 3, and dropped by Segura. Here comes Fowler. He's in. It's 3-0.
Well, there was a little misplay in the Brewer outfield last night with the Scooter Gennett going out from second base and Santana and right. All that Jeanette gave up on early. This time, Santana breaks back. Segura probably about the third option there who you would want to make a play on that one. That ball in the air a long while. That's one you assume is going to be caught. Should have been caught. But it was not caught, and Dexter Fowler has scored the third run for the Cubs here tonight.
They're giving Schwarber a double. They've had a couple of plays here in this series where it's been a little tentative, and I do wonder if it has anything to do with that collision the other night they had in left. Peterson and Herrera came together. 1-0 on Bryant.
2-out walks have been the key moments in this game. Schwarber walked. Bryant went deep. He's past Billy Williams for the Cubs rookie record with 26 home runs.
Knocked down by Loesch. And that will end the inning. Cubs get a run though on the bloop double by Schwarber following that 2-out walk by Fowler. 3-0.
Perhaps you're curious about the difference between a curveball and a slider. Well, you see the grips right there. Curveball on the left, more of a down break, 12-6 on the clock. Slider or cutter on the right. Not quite as much depth, but a harder pitch. Both very effective weapons for Jake Arrieta. Bounces the curveball, and then the slider running off the outside edge. The magic of television. Showing you some pretty impressive stuff. That spin right there is one of the top 3 spin rates I've seen all year. That's a 2-seam fastball right there.
Here's Rivera, first career plate appearance.
If you watch enough baseball, you can actually count the rotations as that ball gets to home plate. You really got to bear down though.
Rivera, 23 years old. From Caguas, Puerto Rico, a 9th-round pick, 2010, out of Manuela Toro High School in Puerto Rico. 133 games between AA and AAA in 2015.
Kind of a wiry kid, but broad-shouldered. Looked like there's a little room to add some muscle to that frame.
6'3", 180. Bounces one slowly left side, and it's Bryant to make the play. Now Jeanette 1 for 2 with a double. Jays a winner last night, 4-2 over the Yankees. Yankees leading 3-2 tonight up at Rogers Center in the 8th. Carlos Beltran with his 17th home run in the 8th. They give the Yanks the lead. Oh, 2. Darren on Twitter wants you to explain the dead ball era. You have referenced it a couple of times in Jake Arrieta starts. Prior to 1920?
Yeah, he turns hitters into dead ball era type hitters. Yeah, roughly. The dead ball era usually, thought of as the early days of baseball up until 1920. In 1920, and I may not get all this factually correct, but they started exchanging baseballs more frequently. They throw beat up balls out of play. Prior to that, they didn't, not as often. Babe Ruth came along for one, and everybody saw what you could do with slugging approach. And guys, before that, the game was played more slap the ball, hit it on the ground, bunt, punch the ball, choke up. Guys started to slug a little bit more. The spitball was declared illegal. It was grandfathered for some guys, but scuffing the ball and marking the ball up was made illegal. So just basically a set of rule changes and stylistically the way the game was played. So baseball historians kind of break it down, the dead ball era up until about 1920, and then from 1920 on the live ball era. And I do believe the way that the ball was wound changed as well.
That's a great description.
So that's why when you look back in the early days and you see all these pitchers with sub-2 ERAs and they're throwing 70 complete games, and you have to realize that the game was played completely differently back then.
Jeanette has hit a couple of balls hard. That one right to the third baseman Bryant. So 2 outs here in the Milwaukee 6th. No combined no hitter in Detroit. Tyler Saladino with a triple in the 9th. It's a 1-out hit. Tigers lead 1-0, but the White Sox trying to at least tie it up.
There's his 4th best pitch.
The changeup.
Hang with him, hitters. Hang with him. And there was a time way back in the early days of baseball where the pitcher's job was basically just to introduce the ball into play. Wasn't trying to get anybody out. Hitters could ask for it up or down, and we were supposed to try to accommodate him.
Well, I'm glad they didn't ask Jake Arrieta to do that, because he's been fun to watch.
I did that at the end of my career. I thought it'd be kind of fun to honor the history of baseball. To say, you know what? Where do you want it? Where do you want this 84-mile-an-hour heater?
Oh, 2 to Schaefer. Swing and a miss on the curveball. My goodness. 3-0. Chance to catch the best matchups in baseball by reserving your place in line for history in the making. Join the season ticket holder waiting list. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list. Cubs lead 3-0. The way Jake Arrieta has worked tonight, it feels like it's about 9-0. Got a few of these types of nights. The Cubs offense would like to literally make it 9-0 if they can. Rizzo 0 for 2. Here's the 1-1 from Loesch. Fouled away. Strike 3 called.
Loesch crossed Anthony up there, coming with that heater.
We want to welcome all our viewers watching on Charter in the Rockford area. Home of the Ice Hogs and Cheap Trick.
And the Peaches, right?
Yep. Knocked down by Loesch. That's out number 2. Blackhawks are playing tonight. Hard to believe hockey season.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Starting preseason.
Guys, there's no long training camp for them, man. They put their skates on, practice for a couple days, and go get it.
Yeah, we gathered a sports bar after a game in Washington, D.C. Remember, we had a day game.
Yeah.
We got together. Did we watch the clincher?
I know we watched a number of games on the road.
Oh, it was game 2 of the Cup final. Okay. Oh, the
Yeah, we were
clincher
here
was
for the clincher, yeah, during the rain delay.
The rain out. Yep.
Cardinals and Reds tied 1-1 during the 5th. Cardinals looking to win on Mike Matheny's 45th birthday.
Right field, long run for Santana, and he will get there, and that will end the inning. So we will go to the 7th. It's the Cubs 3 and the Brewers 0. on TV tonight. Go up close with Bears safety Antrel Roll. His reaction to last Sunday's Week 2 loss to Arizona, plus a look ahead to Week 3 against Seattle. The Antrel Roll Show, it's tonight at 11 on Comcast Sportsnet. Addison Russell now playing short. Baez moves over to second. Here's Adam Lynn. Ball one. Ronnie Platt from Bellwood, Illinois, who's the new lead vocalist of Kansas. Did a great job with the anthem. He will sing the stretch tonight. Kansas has a couple of shows at the end of October at the Arcada Theater in St. Charles.
Left Overture. Remember that album? Dust in the Wind.
Mm-hmm. 2-1 on Lynn.
Kansas, Chicago, Boston. Put together your all geography all-star band.
Europe, Asia. We could do a cover of Toto's Africa.
Europe?
Yeah.
There's a group called Europe.
You ever heard of the Final Countdown?
I have.
It's Europe.
That's Europe?
It's a final countdown. Oh, yeah. Two missed inside. 3-2. Well, he doesn't give up hits, and he's not walking anybody.
No. It's almost like because he has so many good pitches, you could almost have a little spinner out there, you know, just spin the wheel and see what. Oh, it's coming up curveball. All right, let's throw a curveball here.
Like clockwork.
Two-seamer at 95 to get the ground ball. You think, yeah. Probably that fist bump, I think, reference to the errant throw he made last time. Last start, rather, not earlier in this ball game.
There's Davis, 36,270, the paid crowd tonight. I'd like to see Jake become the first Cub 20-game winners since John Lieber, 2001. Looking for his 18th consecutive quality start. He's already tied the franchise record dating back to 1914 in terms of consecutive quality starts. Back to the late 60s. There are your 20-game winners in Cub uniforms. Last Cub younger than 30 to win 20 games was Maddox in '92. There have been 26 Cubs in the modern era. That's since 1900 to get to 20.
Fergie made a habit of it.
I don't believe, not that this matters, but I don't believe a team that I have called games for has ever had one.
No.
So it just doesn't happen that much anymore. It's my 14th year.
Well, how many were there last year? Let's look it up.
That's the name of our game. Not you make the call. Is you
look
can
it
look it up. I'm going to go with 1 or 2 last year. I think Kershaw did, right?
Yep.
Diving stop, Russell. Here's the throw, and a little late.
So the Brewers now with 3 hits, 2 of them infield hits. Has almost got his man. Spectacular effort here by Russell. An outfield double by Jeanette to start the ball game and 2 infield hits, and that's been it for the Brewers here tonight.
There were 3 20-game winners last year. Kershaw won 21. Cueto and Wainwright each won 20. Kershaw went 21 and 3. Santana, runner on, 1 out, a strike called. He has struck out and grounded out to first.
Jake, we got him swinging at a slider, I believe it was first time. Last time he threw a fastball in on his hands at a weak little ground ball to first.
Two. Cubs got 2 in the 3rd on a Bryant home run. Blue double by Schwarber in the 5th. Added another. Pitch count in good shape. 83 and counting.
I think I just saw him take a deep breath.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on the curve. Couple of righties, Goforth and Knebel. David Goforth, Corey Knebel. His nickname's got to be Evil, right?
Evil Knebel, yeah, I like it.
Strike 1 on Segura. Usually a little bit of a hat adjustment as he has the ball in that changeup grip. Grabs the bill of his cap and looks in to get his sign.
You know, it's just amazing that you can dominate big league hitters the way he has. Like the big kid in Little League.
Yeah, there is no better level than this one. This is it.
So it's one thing to win, but to completely dominate the way he has. Oh my. Just off that outside corner. Tried to clip the outside edge, just missed it. Miggy tries to drag it back a little bit. Can't influence Toby Basner.
Runner goes on a 1-2. Swing and a miss. Time for the stretch with Ronnie Platt.
Tonight's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, lead singer of Kansas, Ronnie Platt.
All right, Cub fans, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Oh, it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's start you out at the old ball game. All right, let's get some runs.
Nice job, Ronnie Platt, lead singer of Kansas. By the way, the White Sox did tie the Tigers after breaking up the no-hitter in the ninth. They're now in the 10th, 1-1. Terrell bounces right side. Scooter Gennett will make the play. Let's hear how Hawk called Tyler Saladino's triple to break up the no-no.
Okay, you can cancel the postgame show, and you called it. Tyler was going to break it up. Meanwhile, he's going to turn it on, and he's going to make it to third. So we got the tying run on with 1 out.
You can cancel the postgame show. Working with Brian Anderson tonight, former outfielder. Here's Baez. Interesting. You look at Javi's, got the extra face guard because of some recent dental work. He's got the shin protection. He's got the elbow pad. Pretty well protected. Three balls, no strikes.
Yeah, if it's within the rules and it's not uncomfortable, why not?
Three and two.
Bold pitch there by Loesch on 3-1. Not a real hard thrower, but he challenged him right over the heart of the plate. Got the swing and miss.
And he got him. And all the way back to get him.
Batting next, the pitcher, Jake Arrieta.
Strike one on Jake. Loesch has been good. This is his third inning of work. Did give up the run in the fifth, but it was on a double that probably should have been caught by somebody. And the blooper off the bat of Schwarber. Base hit center field.
There was Kronk down to first base. With the helmet rub. Of course he was going to get a knock tonight.
It out of play. So look, I know the Orioles are taking some heat for trading Arrieta to the Cubs, but he made 63 starts, 69 appearances with the Orioles over 4 seasons. He had a 5.46 ERA. It wasn't like he made 10 starts. And teams.
Yeah, there's no guarantee he would have become this if he had stayed there.
It does happen, and he has flourished. will become the ace of this team and a bona fide Cy Young contender. 3-0 as he'll head back to the mound. Chicago Cubs home and away. Christopher Radko glass ornament. Ornaments are $60. All proceeds will benefit Cubs charities. Visit Cubs.com/ornament for more information. And a fun night at the Yard. The Cubs have been so good here. They won 20 of their last 25 here at home. Shane Peterson will come off the bench and pinch hit for Loesch.
Well, good job by Loesch. He's kept his team in the game. Doesn't feel like it, but it's only a 3-run lead.
It'll be Knebel in the bottom of this 8th inning. Earlier this year, would have been a lineup most likely including Carlos Gomez, Ryan Braun, Aramis Ramirez, Jonathan Lucroy, dealing with a concussion, Braun with a back issue. Gomez and Ramirez were traded.
Braun will have surgery at the end of the year. He is still eligible to play, would like to play. Lucroy with concussion issues. He may not be back this year. And a tough year for him, so just looking for a reset.
And as I mentioned that, Aramis Ramirez just tripled in that game in Colorado. He knocked in a run. It's 5-3 Pirates in the 4th. There's Ryan Braun. He struck him out. That was the lane changing slider.
Yeah, that was. That one might have changed 2 lanes. Coming into this game, left-handed hitters were batting 164 against Arrieta.
right, so Jake, 69 appearances, 63 starts as an Oriole, a 5.46 ERA, 64 starts as a Cub. Just about the same amount, 238.
Yeah, and so we were talking about that before we went to break. Obviously, there's no guarantee he was going to become this guy in Baltimore. Sometimes change of scenery, you just get in a different place, you start fresh, you're able to reset things, and all that ability comes to the fore. But having said that, there has to be some tough questions asked in Baltimore. I'm sure there have been to people who are, people that are still there, who were there when Jake was there. Did we do everything we could to get the most out of this guy? And sometimes it's the most talented guys that frustrate people the most. When you see that arm, you see that ability, and it doesn't happen right away, there's a tendency to get frustrated, and maybe you give up on a guy a little earlier than you should. Guys with his stuff that struggle sometimes get labeled, well, he's not coachable, or he's not mentally tough, or whatever it may be.
Well, it is quickly becoming one of the better trades made in baseball here the last several years, as he just served up his first walk of the night. Maldonado is on. Well, and maybe as part of some of the tough questions, maybe Jake asked himself those questions too when he got traded.
Yeah,
I'm sure he didn't like looking at an ERA of 5.5 for his career when he came over here, right? And he never acted like, or never said that he was upset with the Orioles for giving up on him.
No,
but there had to be something inside going, okay, where is my career going? I'm 27 years old. Am I going to be the guy everybody thought I could be?
Yeah, I need to make this happen. When I talked to him last year, he said part of the problem was that he was getting a lot of advice from different people over there, and he didn't want to be viewed as uncoachable or resistant to change. So he was trying to implement a lot of different things, instead of just kind of settling in. And so after coming over here, his mindset was, well, let's just kind of simplify things. He had some physical problems there. He had an elbow issue.
A chopper to third. They'll get one. That's it. No chance at all, Rivera. As Maldonado and Baez came together at second. As promised earlier in the ball game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo. You can tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Northside Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Petty vision looking strong. Javi's got to bail out there. You can't hang in there and try to turn that double play and risk injury. There's no way they were going to get two.
There's Jeanette. Nobody up in the bullpen here in the eighth.
I mean, your baseball clock has to tell you there's no way we're going to get two here. Why stand in there and take that hit and risk injury?
It's almost a late slide by Maldonado, but all's well that ends well. One and one. There have been some mechanical tweaks. Read a nice piece on 538.com about Arrieta. A little more of a crossfire action than he used to have. A little more horizontal instead of vertical with that slider. But I think confidence is the biggest reason. Stuff was always there. stays alive.
Yeah, I don't know what comes first, success or confidence. But he's got it now in spades.
Hard, but right to Russell. Baez covering at second, and that'll end the inning. They'll get on their feet as Arrieta's cruising along with a 3-hit shutout in the 8th.
Let's go. Here's your opportunity to register to win the chance to purchase 2015 Cubs postseason tickets for games played here at Wrigley Field. Go to Cubs.com/postseason to register and learn more. Cubs will conduct random drawings from eligible fans who successfully complete the registration form.
Here's Corey Knebel against Kyle Schwarber. Bottom of the 8th. 3-0 Cubs. And a strike.
Hard chunking right-hander.
So this 538.com article by Rob Arthur about Arrieta. I said horizontal. His release point is actually more vertical than it used to be. I'll quote from the piece. Most of the time, the horizontal and vertical coordinates of a pitcher's release point are fairly constant. He's changed the more time he spent in the big leagues. Every year, his release point increased in height and moved further toward the third base side of the pitching rubber. The total of change is extreme. So he moved his release horizontally across the rubber by nearly a foot and upward by nearly 6 inches. Schwarber a base hit. So if you think about that, where that goes and what his repertoire is, especially on the breaking balls.
Yeah, I'd have to see video of his days in Baltimore, but yeah, normally that's one of the things you're always trying to emphasize is to get on top, to create angles with the fastball and to create leverage with the breaking ball.
Change and all that made him even better against lefties as a result. Well, the other thing, just simply the stats, the walk rate has gone way down. And that
speaks to the confidence.
pitcher.
Yeah, when you know, sometimes if you're getting hit around a little bit and you lose confidence, you become a little wary of the strike zone. So you end up walking guys and putting yourself in hitters' counts.
Bryant finds the gap. That's going to roll to the wall. Schwarber to third. Gary Jones says, "Come on home." And he will score, standing 4-0. Bryant has 3 knocked in tonight. Closing in on 100 RBIs. He's got 98 on the year.
Yeah, for much of the summer, the Rookie of the Year race was pretty close. And there were a lot of other guys that are having very good. There are a lot of guys having very good rookie years, but it's pretty much a lock now. He should win that award by a wide margin. Closer at home plate than it needed to be. Similar to the pitch he hit out of the ballpark. Not getting a whole lot of info there from Riz.
Single double, 4-0. And Rizzo takes ball 1. Travis Wood up in the bullpen. This feels kind of like it's just one of those nights, late September. 108 pitches. He probably could finish, but what's the upside?
Well, I think it may be he'll let him go back out there a hitter at a time. It may be that if the Cubs score another run or two and the lead gets really comfortable, where he'll say, "That's good, shut it down, save some bullets." We haven't seen the nice job, way to go handshake. So right now he's still the guy, I believe.
Maybe Joe's just afraid to tell him.
He and Boz are arguing. You tell him. No, you tell him. No, I think he's going to let him go back out there unless this thing gets, they get a real big lead. And even with that, he may send him back out there, go a hitter at a time. Just have Travis ready in case that pitch count starts to mount to where it becomes a concern, and then they can make a quick change.
Ground ball that'll be backhanded by Segura. And he gets Rizzo. Bryant is now at third with 1 out. And we update the remaining schedule for the top 3 teams in the division, brought to you by Elgin Toyota. A dozen to go. And it looks pretty similar, doesn't it, across the board? So the Nationals and Giants are 2 teams trailing the Cubs. Nationals lost 4-1 to Baltimore. Infield in against Russell. Giants just underway in San Diego, scoreless. Pirates leading 6-3 in the 4th. Cardinals at home against the Reds, tied at 1 in the top of the 7th. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
Pirates have 3 left with the Cubs and 3 left with the Cardinals.
AT&T Uvers multi-view. Runner at third, 1 out, infield in. 2-1 on Russell in his first plate appearance tonight. He missed it, 2-2.
So I guess you'd have to say in terms of strength of schedule remaining, the edge would go to the Cubs.
When the Royals come in Monday, they'll have a new closer, Wade Davis. Taking over for Greg Holland. Called strike 3 on a fastball. 2 outs.
Yankees and the Jays are in Toronto. They're tied 3-3. Bottom of the 9th. Toronto with a 3.5 game lead over the Yankees. The Yankees pretty well locked in though for a wild card spot. Astros currently have the second wild card. 3 games better than the Twins, 2 in the loss column.
Strikes on Coughlin. Down Maldonado. Keeps Bryant at third.
Maldonado, very capable backup, thrust into extra duty this year with the injury issues for Jonathan Lucroy.
Number 21 of the inning coming up. It'll be the final pitch of the 8th. We'll see if Arrieta's coming back. It looks like he is, to at least start this 9th. So you check out MLB at Bat. Follow the Cubs all season long. In-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, and much more for your smartphone or tablet. Austin Jackson is in to play right. Chris Coghlan moves over to left for Schwarber.
Well, hasn't been a lot of work for the outfielders here tonight. As Arrieta has dominated this Brewer lineup, as he's dominated just about every lineup he has faced.
And what a buzz in the ballpark.
Yeah, it was fun to watch the crowd rise as he came out of the dugout to start the ninth.
One strike on Schaefer. Late swing. Oh man, I hope everybody's all right in the dugout. Somebody took a major tumble. Schwarber, of course.
You could just see, you could see feet, you could see a stool.
Oh, that was scary, I got to admit.
See ya.
Got it.
Hat trick for Schaefer, no doubter. Locked him up with a fastball. So much to contemplate if you're a hitter against Arrieta.
Number 10.
He's thinking maybe he's going to throw me that slider. I'm going to open my hips, be ready. Nope. Leaks back to the inside corner.
Lind out of play. Pitchers of record, Arrieta and Cravey. Arrieta trying to go to 20-6. Cravey was dropped to 0-8.
Obviously a decided mismatch in favor of Arrieta and the Cubs when you look at the pitching matchup here tonight, and given the fact that the Brewers are banged up, out of contention, kind of limping towards the finish line, and the Cubs are riding this emotional high. But sometimes the game doesn't play out the way we expect tonight. It certainly has. Stonewall Arrieta is playing complete command here.
Swing and a miss. 2 down.
He has a feel for the moment, doesn't he? Looking for his 4th complete game, his 3rd shutout of the year. Did he not strike out the side to finish the no-hitter?
Chris Davis with 2 outs. Those viewers who just watched the White Sox and Tigers, Detroit a 2-1 win in 10. Jake Arrieta looking for win number 20. He's got a 4-0 lead. He's allowed 3 hits tonight and 1 walk. That's been it. 2-0 to Davis. Swing and a miss, 2-1.
And 2 of the 3 hits he allowed were infield hits.
Here it comes. 3-1. Rondon now up. Travis Wood got loose in the bottom of the 8th. He sat down. And it's the closer, just in case.
Pitch count becoming an issue.
Will get out of play. 3-2.
So Madden hoping like crazy that he ends it right here.
Season high in pitches 122 in the 4-hit shutout at Minnesota. Started to stretch.
Oh, spoil a good pitch.
We'll do it again. Looking for his major league leading 3rd shutout.
Davis clearly has not read the script here. He's one of the 3 position players of the starting 8 position players who have not punched out here tonight. He has one of the infield hits, and he's also hit a couple outfield flies. About everything else, a punch out or a ground out.
This should do it. Baez to Rizzo. Jake Arrieta, a 20-game winner. Cubs win 4-0 the final.
Well, in his second chance to get that 20th win. Last time he was really outstanding. Didn't get it. Had to settle for a no decision. Tonight, brilliance yet again from Jake Arrieta. Time and time again, this guy goes out and delivers not just quality, but excellence.
And depending on what happens tonight with the Giants and the Padres, the Cubs could come to the ballpark tomorrow knowing that they're in the playoffs by the end of Major League action tomorrow night. 3 hits, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts. Jake Arrieta with a 3-hit complete game shutout.
Now one of those special moments in a year where there have been many. And certainly for Arrieta, the no-hitter, now a 20-game winner. Big hug from his pitching coach. He continues to press his case for the Cy Young Award.
Chris Bryant with the game-winning 2-run homer in the 3rd. Set a Cubs rookie mark with his 26th of the year.
Jake has lowered his ERA to 1.88.
Kelly, are you ready?
I think we're as ready as we're going to be.
Go ahead.
Well, Jake, a complete game no-hitter for your 20th of the season. That goes as well. I know it's all about the team wins for you, but in this moment, reflect on what tonight means to you.
Really, I think it's just preparing us for a postseason atmosphere. You know, the fans have been tremendous here all year, and it's getting better as the season wears on. So I just wanted to come out and put up a good effort, you know, help us get a win and put us in a good position to finish off strong.
108 pitches going into that 9th inning, but you heard this crowd. How good did you feel at that moment?
Well, I was ready. I was ready for the 9th, you know, and Joe and Boz, they knew that. You know, I prepared for that, so I was ready for it.
Jake, just describe what this entire season's been like for you.
It's been a lot of fun. You know, a lot of hard work and preparation is paying off, and I'm just going to keep going. You know, I'm not satisfied with where we're at yet. Just need to keep moving forward.
Well, I think this crowd is waiting on you right now. Enjoy this one tonight, Jake.
Appreciate it.
There you guys go.
Yeah, that's usually what happens when you do something right. You end up getting ice dumped on you, as you said, a shaving cream and a plate of shaving cream in the face.
Bucket of Gatorade or a shaving cream pie in the face, and a well-deserved bucket of water, Gatorade, whatever he got dumped on him. The crowd doesn't want to leave. They're celebrating his effort here tonight. This is fun stuff, man.
So the Cubs will go for the series sweep tomorrow night, and our Binny's Beverage Depot toast of